everyone, welcome to Growing with Grace and welcome to this video. First of all, I just want to say I'm so sorry for the lighting and stuff. It's really rainy and overcast here, so this was the best I could do. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some tips for moving out on your own for the first time. I do kind of have imposter syndrome when it comes to giving advice because I feel like I have so much left to learn still, but moving on my own is one thing that I have done, and I feel like I can offer a little bit of insight into. So yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, the most obvious thing is that you need to make sure you have everything you need to live. So let's say you're living with your parents. You probably have, some items of your own that you'll be taking with you. But like plates, forks, toilet paper, stuff like that, you're going to have to get for the first time when you move out on your own. And there are a lot of sort of like straightforward things, like I just mentioned, like of course you need toilet paper, but trust me, there are a lot of things that you won't realize that you use or need until you move out and you don't have them. So for me, one thing that I forgot when I was making my list of things is kitchen scissors, or scissors at all. I totally forgot them. And so for like the first 2 weeks of living here, I would need scissors for something, realize I didn't have them, make like a mental note that I needed to get some, then forget about it and not get them. So just little things like that. And you can ask like your parents or a friend who lives on their own to sort of like help you make out a list of things that you're gonna need, or you can find like an online checklist of some kind. I will try to find one after I finish filming this video and link it in the description, so be sure to check that in case I do find one. But yeah, just make sure you have a full list of everything you think you're going to need in your new place. And my second tip has to do with budgeting for your move. So I knew that I was going to have to pay my security deposit and my first month's rent to get the apartment. But something that I forgot about until my mom reminded me was that I had to pay a security deposit for my utilities as well. And I have gas, electricity, telephone, and water. So that's 4 utilities that I was going to need to pay security deposits for, and I didn't realize that that was a thing. So when you're making out like your budget or you're trying to save up to get the amount that you need to move out, just remember that you may need to pay security deposits for your utilities as well, because that can be a pretty hefty chunk of money. Sometimes utilities will allow you to have like someone that will co-sign for you and just kind of vouch for you, and then you don't have to pay a security deposit. So that's something that you could look into if you want to try to save a little bit of money and you have someone that'll co-sign. But yeah, that's just something to keep in mind, and it's something that I didn't even realize existed until I started getting ready to move out on my own. All right, my third tip is to carefully review your rental agreement. So it's not like with a website where you can just like scroll through the terms of service really quickly and click accept. You want to read every part of the agreement because you want to make sure you know all the rules. A lot of it will be very standard, but there can be some, variations. So for instance, for some leases, you might be able to break them without paying a fee as long as you give adequate notice. But for some, you might have to pay a fee to break the lease. Some landlords will assume more responsibility of like the upkeep of the place than others, and some will have different rules. In my case, my landlord's like basic lease agreement is no pets. But I talked to him about the fact that I have 2 cats, sort of explained everything, and he made like a specific note on the lease that said I could have 2 cats. And that way I have it in writing, and if anything ever comes up about the cats, I know that, you know, legally I'm allowed to have them here. So it's just super important to really comb through the entire lease agreement and just make sure you understand the rules and make sure there isn't anything in the agreement that like is a red flag for you. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to be as organized as you can be when you're moving. So I know it can be easy, especially if there's like a time crunch, to just throw everything into a box, you know, and pack it up and move it. But try to be as organized as you can be when you're moving, because it is such a big headache to be unpacking in your new place and be like sorting through boxes and then you can't remember where you put something. And this did happen to me because I started out really organized with my packing, and then as it got closer to the actual move, I just started throwing things in together that didn't belong together, and I literally lost some things that I just now found 2 months after I moved into this place. So it's really important that you try to stay as organized as you can be during the packing process. Your future self will thank you. I promise. And my 5th and final tip is for after you are living in your new place. And it is to make sure that you still leave the house, to make sure that you still call your friends, talk to your family, go visit your family. It's just really important to make sure that you don't feel alone after you move, because it's really hard to go from living with people to being alone. It might be a little bit better if you're moving in with a roommate, but for me, I went from living with people to being completely alone. And the isolation factor is for real. And so you just want to be extra certain that you're taking like intentional steps to spend time with your loved ones and talk to them every day if you can, just so that you feel a little less alone. And I think it really helps with mental health and everything like that if you just reach out to people, you know? I usually talk to my mom on the phone every day, to be honest, you know? If I don't get to talk to her, then I definitely text her updates and everything like that. It's just good to make sure that you have a support system in place. And that is my last tip. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a little bit of value from it, or at the very least, you know, were entertained by it. And if you did like it, please feel free to leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I'm just really excited to keep uploading on this channel in the new year, keeping you guys updated with my journey, and I hope you follow along. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for everything, and I'll see you next Monday.